a tangled web the NFL weaves when they attempt to deceive. Or I should say, when it's time for the playoffs. Yep, the intricate web that the NFL has, especially when it comes playoff time, was really going to be there for the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, they had to wait it out for a little while. And I mean, heck, when Pittsburgh won and when the Texans won, part of us were thinking, hey, what's Jacksonville going to do? Well, Jacksonville went down to defeat to Tennessee, which kind of solved one piece of the web, because let's just say Buffalo did qualify before their big game against the Fish. And I mean, the way it was going to be was this. If Buffalo had lost, they would have played Miami again next week down in Miami. But thankfully, Buffalo did what they had to do against their own rivals. And do I detect the smell of fish coming from Buffalo? Fried fish. Boy, it's a nice delicacy when we take care of the fish, you know. Of course, everybody said they're dolphins, they're mammals. Well, you don't know the intricate nature of the rivalry. That's why we like to call Miami the Fish. But you know what? We beat the Fish, and now it's Pittsburgh who's coming to Orchard Park. And it's going to be a big conundrum in my family. My brother has been a huge Steeler fan since the days of the Steel Curtain. Heck, he still has a Jack Lambert jersey. In my mind, Jack Lambert was one of the meanest sons of bitches to ever play linebacker. But you know what? That was then, Lambert's Lunatics. And of course, you had a little ham with your Jack, if you know what I mean about Pittsburgh's linebackers. The Steel Curtain was a force, but that was years ago. But what a legacy they've left. Pittsburgh has always been a very consistent team. Mike Tomlin has always done a pretty decent job with them. But the thing is right now, offensively, they're a little challenged. Their quarterback, Rudolph, is hurt. And also their top defender, T.J. Watt, is hurt. Pittsburgh is one hurting unit going into the playoffs. And the thing is, this is a game that I kind of dread because Buffalo is against a team they should beat. But then they pull stuff that I don't like, and they let the other team hang around. And when another team hangs around like that, it could end up in disaster for the favored team. And hopefully it's not going to be like that when Buffalo plays Pittsburgh. We should take care of business, and this is a time when you should take care of business. We're the number 2 seed. We beat Pittsburgh. We got another home game against the higher of the 2 seeds that win on Wild Card Weekend. So we'll be seeing what happens. It'll be an interesting playoffs, especially with Baltimore and San Francisco sitting back, doing this, you know, sipping their coffee. A little more caffeine if you ask me. A little more sugar. Yep, that's probably what Baltimore and San Francisco are going to be doing. Looking at all that happens this week coming up. And then getting ready for their game the next week. And you know what? Baltimore, you gotta kind of wonder about them. Lamar Jackson is fierce. They're playing at an MVP level. But sometimes Baltimore has trouble when it comes to the playoffs. San Francisco, they've got a little bit of a conundrum, and that means Dallas and maybe Philadelphia if they can get hot again. And you got to throw in Detroit. It's about time you saw the Lions be in the playoffs. You know, they've got a long legacy, and even back in the 40s and 50s, Detroit had championship teams. But it's been a long time since Lions fans have had something to cheer for. And you know what, in this playoffs, it's the Battle of Lake Erie. All 3 of the teams, Detroit, Cleveland, Buffalo, have made the playoffs. And you know what, Cleveland, I'm kind of hoping we maybe play them in the division round. There's a lot of mutual respect between Browns fans and Bills fans. We'll see what happens. As I said, it's an interesting playoffs coming up. It starts with Buffalo hopefully taking care of Pittsburgh and moving on. We'll see. Let's go, Buffalo! Of course, the Bills make me want to shout, if you know what I mean. Now we go from talking about the Bills to talking about another team that got a well-deserved championship. Michigan wound up defeating Washington for the NCAA championship. Michigan has had a great, powerful team, and I mean they've got a great, powerful legacy. It's the first time the Wolverines have won the national title since 1997. And I mean, you got a feel for their embattled coach. I mean, Jim Harbaugh has been through a lot this year. Been suspended twice because it seems as though the NCAA, once they find something a little wrong, they've got the mindset, let's get that son of a bitch. You know what? It seems as though he's had way too much to deal with. And I mean, part of me often wonders if this is some sort of vendetta by the NCAA against Harbaugh, because at times he can be so outspoken. Well, you know what? He's come to his alma mater. He's done past Michigan coaches like Hurry Up Yost and Bo Schembechler, who in my mind was one of the best coaches I ever watched. He and Gary Mueller and Lloyd Carr, he did them proud. But I'm kind of wondering if Harbaugh is maybe going to give the middle finger to the NCAA and say, hey, I'm going to go and try to do what my brother did, win a Super Bowl title. The son of a pretty good coach, a pretty good quarterback himself, and now a national title winning coach. You know what? Jim Harbaugh has always been one I've liked to talk about, I like to admire. If he goes to the NFL, I hope he succeeds. Congratulations, Michigan. Congratulations, Jim Harbaugh. And of course, my cousin, who went to Michigan and is now working on submarines down in Norfolk as an engineer. She's got to be happier than a clam. Congratulations, Michigan. Now I'm going to go from talking about football to talking about my boys here. Syracuse's football team pretty much is set up for a little while before spring practice. And I mean, we're getting ready because Sprain Brown has done an excellent job recruiting. But it's time to concentrate on our basketball team. And two big games coming up for the Orange. We play Boston College tomorrow night. And then on Saturday, we play North Carolina down in North Carolina. We should be able to handle Boston College if everything is under control. But North Carolina, we still have trouble against those Tar Heels, you know. But Syracuse tried to play with Duke last week. And I mean, they were able to hang with the Blue Devils for a while. But then shooting got cold. And the three-point shooting for Duke started getting hot. It kind of shows Red Autry has got a long way to go with the Orange. A 20-point loss to the Blue Devils down in Cameron Indoor Stadium. And you know what? It's a learning experience going forward. If we're going to make the NCAA, if we're going to make some noise, Red Autry's got to start getting the recruits. He's got to start getting a system that'll work pretty good. As you know what? We may be improved, but we're still light years behind the best in the NCAA and also the ACC. Let's go, Syracuse. Come on, Red Autry. We got to start seeing that Syracuse magic. We're heading into the meat of the schedule. And I mean, heck, it's the same way with high school hoops. We're heading into the meat of the schedule, and both Waterloo and Mynderse didn't exactly have the best of weeks. It's time to get it going, guys. I mean, Waterloo, their depth issue, and especially Mynderse. they got to figure out a way to hang with the teams like Geneva, who right now I have to say is one of the best in the Finger Lakes. We have to get it going, guys. And last but not least, I want to talk about the potential sale of the former Seneca Falls Medical Arts Building. You know, they did a good job with the finding use for the old Seneca Falls Hospital. I mean, I remember as a kid going down there when my father and my grandmother had to spend time down there for certain illnesses. And I mean, the Seneca Falls Hospital definitely brings back some memories, even being in the arts building. But it sat vacant for way too long, the medical arts building, that is. Finally, they're going to do something about it, maybe turn it into apartments or something. But I mean, I kind of wondered, medical arts building, you kind of wondered about going into a doctor in there. You didn't want to go to a doctor that has an inspiration. Oh well, we'll see what happens. I'm Ken Haas, and that's my story this week.